Hey everyone, it's Keith. Welcome to Wednesdays in Bed with Keith. Here we are. Thank you so much for being here. So I wanted to talk today because sometimes things pop into your mind, obviously, and sometimes we have to sort of like travel back in time to move forward. And there's a lot of moving forward that we have to do right now. Unfortunately, the world is kind of a messed up place. But there have been moments in the past when things felt kind of messed up, right? And this is just my perspective on something that has happened in my life. And I make no bones about the fact that, I was bullied as a kid. And bullying never ever feels good. And I'm not suggesting that bullying is something that should be tolerated. I'm not suggesting that at all, because I am the first person who, if I see someone getting bullied, I will be in on it. I will be like, get the heck out of here, right? But, there's also overprotection. And my mother was the queen of overprotection. I mean, she did everything in her power not to let my hands touch anything, or, just never to feel pain. And, I was sort of anesthetized as a child. She was a nurse anesthetist, I guess. But anyway, and that's not good too, because that doesn't prepare you for the future. And I see it today in a lot of kids that I talk to. There's just not a whole heck of a lot of resilience, let's say. And I'm not picking on the kids of today. I'm not. But I started thinking about what it was like to be bullied and to be called femboy and fag. And on some level, of course, it hurt. And there was a degree of shame that came along with that. And, you never wanted your parents to know that you were being, called these names. And you just sort of withdrew into your own world and pretended that things weren't happening. But sometimes things were so bold that you have to understand that they are happening. And one of those things was when I was in 7th grade, there was this girl in my class, and she'll remain nameless because it doesn't do any good to mention Lynn's name now. Whoops. Oh well, who cares? She's nothing to me. So anyway, so she was just really, really awful to me. And she had no reason to be awful to me. I never did anything to her. I didn't go to elementary school with her. It wasn't like she knew me. She was just awful. And we don't understand why. So it came time for autographs at the end of the year. And I went around to, different kids, and they signed my yearbook for me, which was lovely. And then Lynn was sitting at a table with this other girl. And I went over to her and I handed her my yearbook, and I said, "Hey, would you sign my yearbook?" And she stands up, so I think she's going to sign the yearbook. So I start to hand her a pen, and whack! She slaps me right across the face. And I was like, what just happened? Like, I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I was humiliated. It was the most humiliating thing. And I just sort of stepped back, but I pretended like it didn't happen. Like, I sort of compartmentalized it, pretending it didn't happen. And I just was like, whatever. And there was a girl sitting next to her, and I said, "Hey, would you sign my yearbook?" And she just politely shook her head no, like that. And I just went on my way. And I was feeling like, kind of like shocked and terrified and just, it was such a bad feeling. It was a really bad feeling. And so bad that I remember it to today, right? So, but what it did was it made me hate her. And I'm not a person to really hate people. It made me hate her so much that I actually recently found out that she passed away. And like in a chorus line in the song, I felt nothing. Like, I absolutely felt nothing. And that's really a sad situation when another human feels nothing about the death of another human being, especially from 7th grade. I mean, that's just, like, whatever. So, what ended up happening, though, with each strike, I became more and more resilient, and I became a better hitter. Let's put it that way. And so I just got more resilient and more resigned that I would not allow this to harm me any longer. So, feel free. I mean, if anybody wants to come at me, they're welcome to come. But I don't carry a gun, but I carry a verbal shotgun, and I'll go at you. I'll just go at you. I don't care. But it made me stronger, and it made me understand that you have to have a little pain in order to gain. It's like that old saying. And whether that pain is emotional or physical, working out, it's just there and it happens. and you need it. A little bit of it is not a bad thing. I think. This is only my perspective. This is what I believe. This is what's made me strong. And, it's just a way of looking at it. So what the bullies actually did, which was counterintuitive to what they were trying to do, was make Keith more resilient and more strong and make me understand where my life was headed and where it was going and how I wanted it to be. Well, anyway, some of the people from high school, as my career progressed, started coming to me as customers. And it was great. Like, we had moved way beyond those years, and I had a really good relationship with a lot of them, but one in particular. And it was the girl who was sitting at the table next to the girl who slapped me. And we started talking about this, and she really had no recollection. She couldn't believe that it even happened, and she felt badly. So we joked about it a little bit, and then she autographed my yearbook, which isn't really my yearbook. It's just a piece of paper with my initial on it. But it was adorable, and I will cherish it forever because she just knew that, something hurt me, and she corrected it. And that is just, and not that she hurt me, that's not what I'm saying, but that incident hurt me. And I got my autograph. So anyway, I'm just saying, I hope you have a good day and keep chill. And if something hurts, just sort of gain strength from it. That's all I can tell you. It did it for me, and hopefully it'll do it for you. And hopefully we can do it for the world.